Hello, and welcome to another episode of Spirituality for Badass Babes. I'm your host, Ania Halama, and today I have the wonderful and beautiful Donalee Gastreich with me. I'm so excited to have her. Her and I have connected about a week ago now, and just like the soul connection that we've had was so beautiful. Well, Donalee is an author, speaker, and a guide who wrote Bringing Spirituality into Business, and we're all about bringing spirituality into business on this podcast. Advancing leadership and workplace wellness are Donalee's favorite topics to talk about. And guess what? We're going to be talking all about that today. She claims that her book to be a game changer for business and personal transformation for individuals, specializing in human behavior and how to impact your success and your results. She's gifted at spotting blocks into your progress. So welcome, Donalee. Hello.
Hello. A topic near and dear to my heart.
Ooh, isn't it to all of us though? If you're in the spiritual business bubble, it's so close to your heart. And I love bringing spirituality into business. But before we dive into all of that, what makes you a spiritual badass?
Oh, I love that question. To me, it was walking the talk, right? Like really practicing it. And I went on a silent retreat and I found it more powerful or equally as powerful than psychedelic journeys and meditation and just being in silence. But my aim that day was to tune into spirit every day in every way for inner guidance before I reached out to the outer world for that guidance. And to me, spirituality is that guidance. It's knowing we have a higher power within us, guiding us every step of the way. But my humanness makes me think I got to go outside to get it. And my spirit says, go inside to get it. And I took off on that walk that day thinking I wanted to go to the lake, but my intention was to tune into spirit. Within about an hour, I found myself lost. And I came to a fork in the road. And I mean, literally 3 different paths I could have went. And I was like, what happened here? And I was like, oh, I didn't tune in once. I started out with my own agenda, wanting to go to the water. So from that moment forward, the rest of the day in silence, I just tuned in. And I feel like when you say what makes me a badass to me is a little bit of mastery, where we get the validation and the recognition that we got this. And to me, that recognition is the success that continually shows up, the opportunities, the people, the next steps, just thrown into your path without effort, right? That's the badass shit I talk about. And
Yes.
it's effortless, right? It's effortless.
Spirituality should be effortless as well. Like when we tune into ourselves, like into that full spiritual badass that each one of us has within ourselves, like it is effortless. And like the manifestations that come into your life when you tune into that flow. Ooh, it is so beautiful, so magical, so juicy. Donnelly and I were talking just like 2 minutes before this podcast started, and I'm like, I feel so in my heart today, so grounded. It's so beautiful. She's like, I feel all your energy. I'm like, yes, that is the spiritual badass embodiment that we talk about here and show here as well. You talk a lot about that tuning into yourself, and I've had this with my book as well, and I know a little bit of your story of how you wrote about your book. So you wrote the book Bringing Spirituality into Business. What prompted you to bring this, to write this?
If I said anything other than spirit, I'd be lying, right? It was all spirit driven. And it was me asking those bigger questions. What is my next step? Where use me, show me. Let me be your words, your actions, right? Who do I connect with? And the message coming to me was loud and clear that to have the greatest impact in the world today, businesses have got to invest in their people. And the true investment in those people is for them to tune inward, to know who they are, to know themselves, grow themselves, and begin to live that life empowered. Empowered meaning tuning into spirit effortlessly, right? So that's what my book's all about. It's a tool for businesses to transform their whole operation because we have spiritual gifts. And I believe each and every one of us is exactly where we're supposed to be, but we're fighting it. We're coming up with resistance. We're blaming our bosses for our stress, right? We're blaming our job for our misery and discomfort. And these are all our reactions to the outer world, and they're all within our control. And so my aim is to bring the power back to the people.
I love it. I come from a corporate background myself. I haven't been in corporate America in 6, 7 years, but it's mind-boggling to me how businesses don't invest in their people. They're just like, oh yeah, figure it out. Mental health isn't a real thing. Spirituality isn't real. Like, are you kidding me? Just take the time to really get to know the people that are inside your business that are working for you. Like, your business is going to rise exponentially if the people could tune into their own zones of geniuses, like, and
Yeah.
it starts with listening to that spirit within yourself. So, oh, so beautiful. So let's talk a little bit about the book. You have it divided into 3 different sections and you call it the ABCs. What are the ABCs and how can we start tuning into them?
Well, each section is its own guide. Like the first section where the A is introduced um, is basically education. It lays the foundation for the terminology of what spirituality is, because believe it or not, there's myths out there. Some people think it's the religion, and it's not, right? So, so the first section is educate. Second section's engage, where you actually engage in the education you've learned, so you begin to integrate it, apply it, live it, right? Become one with it. And the last section is to really step into that empowerment of what it really is looking like. So the A is awareness, and it is what I call the prerequisite to everything we do. Like, you can't learn new skills and adopt them quickly and bring in new habits and lay down new programs and structures within yourself, get those upgrades you need without expanding your awareness.
So what does awareness mean to you?
Well, in the beginning, I teach it as it's a skill, because in the beginning, most people don't even know what it is. And when I ask somebody if they're aware, they pause a moment, they go to that space and place of being in awareness, and then they come back and they answer me yes. So they just left awareness and came back to their mental mind, right? So what awareness really is all that we are. It's a field of consciousness, and it keeps expanding. The more you live in it, the higher your levels of consciousness keep growing and evolving, because you're able to see and recognize more. You know, the divine gifts of our creator is that we're never given more than we can handle. Never given more than we can handle. But we got to handle what we're given to
That's
really,
true.
yeah, to really show that we're ready for what's coming. What else is there for us? And we're here to increase. You know, spirituality alone says you're here to increase and prosper, loved one, right? Like, you are that love, and you're here to give it, be it, and express it in the world. And so this awareness in the beginning, I teach as a skill, but it's really a field that we step into, because it's all that we are. It's it's consciousness, it's pure consciousness. And that's the beauty of this. I teach it from being the observer in that role, because you can be in awareness and still be trapped in your drama, right? But if you're the observer of your drama, you're sort of looking at it from the outside in. And now you can see it in a manageable, workable way. And you could start seeing, oh, yeah, I kind of overreacted. I wish they would have been more calm in that moment, or, more present. A lot of my workshops, I start with, imagine you're driving down the highway. It's a beautiful sunshiny day. And then all of a sudden, and I turn on the police siren. And then
Ooh.
I ask them, what was your reaction? And so many people are like, oh shit, I'm getting a ticket. Oh crap, I'm getting pulled over. But how many sit there and say, oh, an emergency vehicle, let me pull over and clear the way. Your response to that, um, just stimulation, because it really is just stimulation in the outer experience. Your reaction to that is a direct correlation to where you are.
That's beautiful. I actually do a very similar exercise, and I always tell people, I was like, tune into what would love do in that moment. Would love be like, "Oh
Mhm.
shit, I'm getting a ticket?" Or would love be like, maybe there's someone sick coming in an ambulance and driving through. What would
Yeah.
love do? Come from it from a place of love. Oh, that's so good. Mm. All right.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. I love what you just shared because how often is our response denying ourselves the very love that we are? Right? Like, where are we denying ourselves love? How often do we sit in angst about something someone said or did, like a partner or a friendship, and it didn't go the way you want, and you're taking something that was said very personally, and you can't let it go, and you're in a loop, and you're like, why would you sit here and deny yourself love? Like over and over, you're causing your own suffering and denying yourself the love that you are.
Yes, seeing
Mm.
everything through the eyes of the divine, yourself included, and all that is
Yes.
love. Seeing yourself through the eyes of love and non-judgment. Not only
Yeah.
yourself, but everyone around you as well. So good.
It's funny that you mentioned non-judgment. I actually have a listing in my book on practices. I list a lot of tools that you can pick up and use, but tools are something we use for a moment or we come back to, right? We might use them for a year or two, but we sometimes outgrow them and move on to different tools. But practices are something that we embrace and embody. And to me, non-judgment is a practice that somehow in this human experience, someone at some point in time in history showed us that we needed to be judge and jury of everything going on around us, outside us.
Mhm.
And wow, that's caused us to lose our power and to come from this place of just misery. Like we're in suffering if we're judging all the time. It's not fun.
No, it is not. Ooh, the more you judge, like, the more judgmental things start manifesting into your life. We
Sure.
need to retract all of that again. What would love do? How would
Yes.
the love inside of me look at this in a different way? Mm.
Yeah.
So what is
Another
the beauty? Mm.
powerful question I ask and I share with clients a lot is, what would I have to believe is true about me to think this way?
Mm.
Right? Like just getting a ticket. Oh crap, I'm getting pulled over. Um, are you a victim in your reality? Right? And then if so, now you get to look at, how often this shows up for you. Because how we do one thing's how we do everything. And if you're not living the life that you love, it could be because we have some blocks to love and that we're playing a victim in some roles or playing small.
Mm. Playing small. I just wrote a beautiful meditate a quantum meditation that was all about, like, expanding that abundance vision and not to play small anymore, because so many people, they play that victim and that small role when abundance is infinite. The universe is infinite. Why not connect to that quantum realm and finally start making that life that you truly desire all within yourself, that you have within yourself? Like, we are shifting timelines, collapsing them like no other right this moment. Like the last few months, we're all collapsing them. And as a consciousness, as a collective, we're all rising, and we need to shift some of those and really start tuning into all that's within and start creating that desired reality that you have within yourself. Ooh. So what is the
What
beat
would you
all
think?
about?
So the book is all about really knowing yourself, growing yourself, and truly living life from that empowered place where you're guided and you're tuning inward for direction, for insights, for your next steps. And it's in it, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to let go of control. So I also believe that at every step of my growth, your growth, anybody's growth, we are challenged all over again to let go of control. Like if you get a new raise or a bonus or a new title or a new position, I don't care what it is, author, VP at the office or whatever it is, there's a part of you in the humanness that wants to control your growth because you want to perform. We have basic needs, and one is of significance and one is of connection, right? And one is of certainty that we're doing a good job, right? So we want to control this, and the more we start putting control on, the more we're missing the inner guidance that's here for us. And for me, I have to pull back the reins of Donalee, right? And say, whoa, baby girl.
Yes.
Boss babe, pull back into your boss babe here, right? Because this is the badass you that knows how to listen, right? We think of a badass, we think of a boss babe, we think of those titles as being powerful and controlling and, right, owning this. And it's really a surrender,
Yeah.
a beautiful, innocent, loving, yet powerful and dynamic and epic
Yeah.
surrender. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know how to surrender though.
Yeah.
They have
But
a
life gets
very hard
easy.
time.
Yeah. But the book's all about a balance of both, showing you that you've got humanness. It shows a little examples of other people who've worked through some of their issues, and it's shown things in offices, things in personal life. I really do believe that bringing spirituality into business, while I'm
Mm.
focusing on bringing it into corporations, it's really about bringing spirituality into the business of our health, our well-being, our relationships, and our contribution in the world, right? And the work we do, but also into our finances, into our play. It's about bringing spirituality into the business of everything we are and all that we express. So, I've had people say, well, I just retired and I'm not in business anymore. I wanted to get your book, and I'm like, oh my God, girlfriend, get it, right? Like, yeah, yeah.
I love that. A similar thing happened to me. Like my book, it specifically talks about like my journey in my 20s and how I've healed and grown. And I've had people in their 50s, 60s read it and they're like, why are you talking about your 20s? I was like, because that is my journey, but get it. No matter how old you are, if you're in business is not like being in business means being in business for yourself, for all of you, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, relational, your finances, like that is still being in business for yourself because who else is going to do it for you? You need to being in the business of me, and that is what's going to rise and help elevate the world. What are the B's and the C's? We talked about the A, awareness.
Yeah, the B is being, and it's really about, who are you being? What are you being? And we get caught up in different modes, and I call them intelligence systems. There's an IQ, EQ, PQ, and SQ. And the aim is to be balanced with all of them and bringing all of you to the party. And the party's every experience, every interaction, right? Every time you express out into physical form with another human being or experience, you need to bring all of you to the party. And so often, especially in corporate America, um, and I want to say women especially, but I'm going to be really honest and say so many men don't bring their emotions to work with them either, and they don't bring their spiritual intelligence to work with them. So we tend to want to, put on that imposter syndrome in front of others in the workplace in corporate America. And in doing so, we're all in our head about things and we're all in the physical body, but we're really not paying attention to the physical body the way we should. We're bringing it along, but we're bringing it along as a manipulation, a power device, right? And it's really an inner guidance system. It has aches, it has pains, it has insights, it has free downloads. It has so much as a GPS system to guide us. But the minute we get a headache, instead of inquiring, oh, what's this all about? We take ibuprofen or Tylenol to numb the effects. We've had a tough day at work, and what do? We get a drink and we go to happy hour after work to numb the physical body and the symptoms it was sharing with us. And What I learned over time is that, I used to smoke cigarettes and I used to say they were my means of relaxation, but never once did it dawn on me there was another way. And all of these physical symptoms are showing us find your way, go within. This is a guidance system. This is here to teach you. You're feeling this so you'll grow. It's here to grow you. You're here to increase, grow, and prosper, right? So
So
it's
many of us
really a
are
beautiful
feeling
thing like
that.
that. And the C is like bringing it all home. It's combining the A and the B, and to always be stepping into curiosity, to inquiring. And the biggest thing I teach in this aspect of the C is that you don't bring the past with you forward.
Mm.
Get curious all over again. Who you are in this now moment is so dynamically different than who you were a year ago when you think you had knowledge of what you want to bring forward. So be open. I was dating and I went through a month where I was dating a lot of new people, just really checking people out really and seeing, did I want to be in a relationship? Was I ready for one? That kind of thing. And it was funny because over a course of 1 month, I must have had 3 gentlemen tell me, for a bright and intelligent lady that you are, you say, I don't know more than anybody I've ever met. And I said, thank you. Like that was a gift because what did that mean to me? It meant the minute I didn't know, that was my invitation for spirit to guide me. That
Yeah.
was me opening up my receptivity to let spirit show me this moment or direct me. I didn't need to have an opinion about things. Oftentimes it was things someone wanted me to have an opinion on. Saying I don't know means I really don't care to have an opinion either. Right? So I don't know was really a gift for me. And I won't say I use it all the time, but I use it a lot, especially when people want to dive deep and go into things that don't matter.
Ooh, that is so good. I don't know. Allow spirit to come through and work through you. The magic of spirit, as it always does, working through you and guiding you, because we all have that inner guidance system within ourselves, that
Yeah.
inner GPS, like you mentioned. It is spirit always guiding, and allow it. If you don't know, that's okay. It's okay not to know sometimes. Allow that
Well,
spirit to come
actually,
through.
it's better not to know because that's really validation that you're inviting spirit in fully. When you surrender to I don't know, what you're really saying is show me, guide me,
Well,
direct
again, we
me.
can't control everything. So I don't know, allow that spirit to guide you. We can't control we can't. I was telling Donalee this on our last call. One of my mentors says this, and I've said this multiple times on this podcast. Like one of my mentors says, we cannot micromanage the universe. One of my all-time favorite things to say is like, we can't control certain things. And just allowing that surrender to come through is beautiful, even when you don't know. The unknown is going to be scary sometimes, and turmoil
Right.
is going to happen. And we need to go through darkness in order to get to the light, but just surrender to that unknowingness, and pure magic is going to blossom in front of your eyes. Like you're going to be like, where did this come from? It came from
Yeah.
you not knowing and surrendering to that unknown.
Yeah, there is one thing I would just share with everyone, and it's that as you're going through these shifts and changes, we're undoing what society called a norm, right? Like we're undoing the need to know and have it all figured out before we quit our job. Or some people don't even leave a relationship till they have another one in the starts, right? Like to enter into a relationship with spirit and to really tune into your inner guidance requires you to be open to not knowing. Our humanness has 6 basic needs: one's certainty and one's uncertainty, right? Thank God we got them both. But so many of us aren't comfortable in the uncertainty. And when we grow, when we expand, when we excel ourselves, okay, you have to be comfortable stepping out of your comfort zone. And that stepping out of your comfort zone is into the unknown, right? You got to try new things. And I invite people to be in a group of support when they're doing this because they'll succeed so much faster in a peer group of support of others that are doing the same thing. It Your energy will be amplified, just like Aniana said to me when I joined the call, how her energy was just way up there and I felt it. I felt it. I experienced it with her, right? I often am very open to living vicariously through another's energy, experiences, travels, whatever that might be. And this openness is what really expands us to being in this present moment right now as pure awareness,
Mm.
right? You're receptive. You're a sending and receiving beacon of energy. And you and only you can shut off that sending and receiving energy. No one else.
I receive full-heartedly. Mhm. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, Donalee. Thank you so much. Where can people find you? But before that, do you have any final tips and tricks for anyone listening for the audience?
Outside of finding yourself the right peer group, because I feel like that's key, right? Find yourself a circle of support that you can park yourself in to grow, because we all know growth is challenging, right? Like we have blocks to our growth, right? Like they're real. You know, you're talking negatively. You've got an inner critic and you've got a higher voice, you know, and the one's on each shoulder. One's, who are you listening to? Which one are you feeding? That's the one that's going to be most active. So the circle of support, the peer group that really supports you, is key to this. I really believe this is true from the bottom of my heart. And that how you do everything is how you do anything. And if you mentally have an intention for your growth and take actions to support that, your feelings are what come from the thoughts and desires that you want. And when you take actions, you amplify that resonance of vibration that you're sending out to the world. So I call it a results formula. It's how you think affects how you feel affects your behavior, the actions you take, or the non-actions that you take because you're in fear.
Mhm.
So I'll leave you with that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Make sure you're connecting to that inner awareness within yourself. It is so beautiful when you finally find that peace of quiet within yourself and allow that spirit to come through. Then the ideas, the manifestations, the beauty that's going to start showing up in your life is just absolutely incredible. And Donalee has absolutely mastered that. So I thank you so much for your time. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they get your book?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. My website, complete-solutionsllc.com. And if you just Google my name or the book, Bringing Spirituality into Business, Know Yourself, Grow Yourself, Live Life Empowered, you'll find it's on Amazon and other bookstores around the world. You can get it on my website. I also have a companion workbook and a book club for you. And I, from the bottom of my heart, will invite you as a listener to this show into a book club with me starting January 1st. It's actually going to be January 3rd, the first Tuesday in January of 2023. And that book club, for you to get in, you have to go to my website, complete-solutionsllc.com. You'll see the book tab. You'll scroll down to where it's book club and you'll pick the feature that says pay in full. And I want you to use a coupon code, with love, one word, all together, lowercase, and that'll get you in the book club for $1. You'll have access to 29 weeks of a peer group of working together, going through chapter by chapter in the book to really, really powerfully grow yourself and shift your thoughts about things, and this ability to listen and not always be in control, but be in more control than you ever were.
I
By
love
surrendering, by surrendering.
surrender.
Yes.
Get out of
Yeah.
that monkey mind, surrender, and open up your heart and allow spirit to come through. Thank you so much, Donalee. All of that information is going to be in the show notes as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your beauty, and I appreciate your radiant energy as well. Everyone, make sure to grab that free book, join the book club. I'm going to be hopping in there as well. So you'll see me inside. It'll be fantastic. I appreciate you. Thank you.